Hello, Nor,
Hi, good morning.
and good evening to you.
Oh, kind of, yeah.
Afternoon, evening.
Afternoon,
Are
yeah.
you 6 hours ahead of East Coast?
It's 6 where I am, so I'm not sure how much is that.
Well, that would be 7 hours then. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you? How's your week?
It's pretty good. We had a little heat wave here at least in the Northeast, so been pretty toasty.
Ah,
I don't know if
did you guys?
95 degrees makes any sense to you. I'm not sure what that would be in Celsius, but hot.
Well, I mean, that's not hot for us because that's like normal for us.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you do live in
Yeah.
like near the equator, so
Yeah,
there's
I
that.
mean the last week, I believe, our temperatures were like up to 48 degrees Celsius, which is like 118
Mm,
Fahrenheit. So
holy
it was
mackerel.
very toasty.
Yeah, I guess. Now, how do you handle that? Do you guys? I imagine it's like living in Las Vegas for us, basically, right? It gets to like 115, so you don't move around a whole lot in the daytime. You go from one air conditioned location to another air conditioned location.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we usually run away to like any seaside city so
Mm-hmm.
we can like go to the beach or like go to a pool or something to cool off.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the plan last week. So
Gotcha. Are you so where do you live? Like in the Cairo area?
yes, I'm in Cairo. So it's like a very desert city
Mm-hmm.
situation. So it's
Yeah.
always like dusty and hot. It's not humid, but
Yeah.
the heat is just terrible.
Yeah. Sounds it. I'm not a huge fan of that much hotness.
Yeah, well, I prefer to be hot than humid. I mean, the humidity in my hometown, Alexandria, it's terrible. So I
Okay.
prefer the heat than the humidity.
Okay. All right. Now, how far are you from like the Mediterranean in Cairo?
So we're
Quite a
like
way.
a 3 to 4 hour drive, depending on traffic.
That's fairly sizable.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but we
Yeah.
usually don't visit that much as I hope because like my entire family and my husband's family, they're Alexandrians, so they live there.
Okay.
But we just went away to Cairo because, Cairo's the city. It's where, better work opportunities and all of that.
Hmm.
So yeah, we don't visit as much as I hope, but, we're trying to get back to like going there more
Hmm.
frequent.
Well, what does your husband do? Because you in theory certainly could work anywhere with a good internet connection.
Yeah, that is true, but he's in real estate, so he works in an office and he has to like go to the office and stuff like that.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that sucks.
Fair enough. Fair enough. There you go. Oh, I like the purple's really showing through here. And you went, is
Oh
it
yeah,
half and half?
I did a little hair update and there's like a little purple here and then
Oh,
black here. So it's
oh,
like all over the place.
nice.
Love it.
I love that. If you kind of
Thank
pull it
you.
all up on top and swirl it all around, it would be like a big purple black kind of knot on top.
Yeah,
That might be kind of
that
cool.
happens.
Yeah.
Chris, are you a stylist and we don't know about it?
Yes.
No, I've been dyeing my hair ever since I was like 13, 14. So
Okay.
I'm a pro now. Like if you guys need any tips and tricks, you come to me.
Fantastic.
Fair enough.
Josh and I are thinking of dyeing our hair not gray.
Well, I was gonna say Brandon and I are on the same hair care plan. Like we've got the salt and pepper dialed in. So
There you go. See, if you're blonde, it goes, at some point I'll be completely white, but until then
yeah,
I'm blonde.
right.
Yep.
Brandon, you're muted.
Might be on purpose.
Yeah.
So is
And
that ironically funny that Aya's her little insignia is AF because that's her initials. Aya AF.
Hello.
Hello, Aya.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
All right.
man, have we just been scaring people off that we're not getting as many people coming on board lately, or we're just getting a little too challenging?
I think I'm thinking it's summertime. and thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
me
so-
agree.
too. 'Cause, like, I
I
know
do too.
Pups is on vacation and I'm not
Yeah.
sure where James is, but I know
Plus-
Pups is on vacation.
Plus Friday, it tends to, even if you work all week, Friday might be like kind of a sneak away day.
Yeah, that's true. Well, hey, we're gonna talk about video. We're gonna talk about video today, and I think that especially for you two guys, you guys have been doing a great job with let me reiterate a few things that I'm seeing is really, really working well. So we talked a little bit about the posts that are teaching people how to do things. And I don't do this well. I need to get better at it. That's why I'm glad we talked about it. And the reason I don't do it well, and I say this for you guys to think about with your own, is the things that I do well are generally the things that are more natural for me. They're more intuitive. And I don't realize that what's intuitive for me is not necessarily intuitive for other people. So we got to force ourselves to dig in and go, okay, what are some of these things that I actually do really well and I think are really easy, but when you share it with people, they go, oh my gosh. Like I had a guy that called me the other day, he's like, oh my gosh, Brandon, you're a genius. And I'm like, I've been doing this for years. Like it's just something that's very natural and intuitive from his perspective. He thought I was a genius. I mean, I am, but the fact that he thought I was and mentioned it, yeah. But it dawned on, it reminded me that again, like we can't take those things for granted because that's social gold for us to just go down and do it. And if you look at, I've been looking at like the Morgan Ingrams and even Darren McKee's and some of their, this is how you do things. Like I look at it, I'm like, duh. But then I go look in all the comments and there's people like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is like, that's it. So with the how to do things posts, I want you guys to take just, a minute. Believe it or not, I'm going to shut up for a little bit, but think through what are some things that you do that you know how to do. You've been doing it for a while. It's very natural, intuitive for you that could become a really good how-to post because there's a lot of people out there that just don't know how to do it. And when you go, hey, this is how you do something, they're going to go, oh my gosh, you're a genius. Because you are, right? We all are in certain areas. And when we tap into that and share it with other people, then they think we are. So where's your superpower? Where's your super genius? What's one thing? And I'll shut up and let us all think about it. Hey, look, hey, I got Starbucks too.
Cheers.
Yeah. Mine's decaf, just simple black coffee decaf, and it's gross. I hate Starbucks coffee. It's too bitter.
Yeah. No, I go for iced caramel macchiato. It's my favorite.
I'm wondering if, as we're thinking about this, is it helpful to have an outside party also kind of weigh in? And because like you said, right, it's things we take for granted. It's like, well, yeah, do that, but everybody knows how to do that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
What do you mean by outside party, Chris?
And that's
Sorry, Josh, was that you, Josh?
Yeah, I was saying, what do you mean by outside party?
Like from somebody else in the group. Brandon, you post a lot and you do a lot of things well. That's why you're coaching us. So yeah, I've seen enough of your posts and your videos and so forth. So I feel like there's like I have thoughts and comments on things that I think you do well. So I wonder if that's part of the process where somebody else within the group also weighs in, and just maybe that's an encouragement to continue to lean into something like, and I know Josh, we've talked about this, you and I we've connected on the whole craft beer thing.
Yeah.
I thought your posts, from your Mount St. Helens hike were awesome. and it combined so many things because I've been kind of coming to know you through those posts. And I think it was part of it was just the geographical change. And literally here we are in almost July and you're standing in this like field of snow, which I thought was like, wait a second, was that literally like yesterday? So I guess, I don't know, Brandon, you're talking about more specific tactical things. I guess what I'm saying is maybe a little bit more of a generic type of a commentary or statement. But I think there's some validity in that of like, hey, if I've seen you do this thing, it's resonating with me. I don't know if you know this, but I'm reacting to it. I think it's cool. Do more of that.
Yeah. Well, let's take, go ahead, Butch.
I think we take for granted the fact that how little we may think we know way more than most people. I was meeting with a business owner yesterday, and he does LinkedIn and does a pretty good job. And I shared with him about commenting on comments and then connecting with the people that look at your profile. And he thought I was a genius. And he wrote a great post right after. I mean, almost like before I got in my car, there was a post from him that talked about the great meeting he had with me and all the things I taught him about LinkedIn. And then this was a chamber guy, Brandon. And then some other people from the chamber that I want to connect in had liked and commented on his post. So I went in and commented on all those. And, you know, just, I mean, it couldn't have been better. And it was just from commenting on comments and connecting with people that view your profile.
Yep. So as an example then with that, you could teach as a post, Butch, how to see who's viewed your profile, or I would rephrase it, say how to quickly grow your network by engaging with people who are interested in you. Right? Like the way that I just phrased it, and we could wordsmith and refine it, but what I'm getting at is people don't understand, like, you can see who's interested in you, who viewed your profile, and send them connection requests that gives you probably a 50% or greater opportunity for them to say yes. Right? So that you could, I'm trying to think and talk at the same time, which isn't a good thing for me to do, but there's a cool headline there.
Yeah, I made some cool hook. I wordsmith it a bit.
Right? And then, oh man, my AirPods are dying. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully it won't get too loud. I've got to charge those. But there's a cool headline there. And then what you can do is teach people how to go see who's viewed your profile. Like, you know, the process we do of even the one of take people that like your post and see people that have liked your post, and you click on the number and it pops up everybody who liked your post, and then you right click on their name and open up a new tab and send them a connection request. Like teaching people how to do that. Whenever I tell people how to do it, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you could do it. And I'm like, I've been doing that for 4 or 5 years. I clicked the number one time. I'm like, oh, there's a whole list of people. And then right click, opened up their new tab. I'm like, oh, I'm not connected to them. Send them a connection request, and like just intuitively started doing it and never even thought about turning that into a how-to post where people can think I'm a genius. So that's what I want you guys to be thinking about in each of your industry. Hey, James Gilman, so good to see you. Been a long time, my friend.
And I think don't take for granted that something to you is just something you do every day isn't something that a lot of people have no idea about.
Exactly. And it's, you know, I obviously am speaking from a place of social and LinkedIn and personal branding, but you guys would be thinking about this stuff that you take for granted in your everyday work life, that customers come to you and go, okay, how do I do this? And you're like, oh, well, you did this, you did this, you did that. Right? those are the types of things when you're teaching people right now in social, it's getting a lot of play, and we can do that in copy and we can do that in videos. And we're going to talk a little bit about video and some of the new styles, because I do believe that the new, story style videos in LinkedIn are going to stick this time. It's like the third time they've tried it. I think it's going to stick. I think getting these types of videos in play, especially sooner rather than later, is going to be really, really beneficial. Because if you look at the news feed right now that I see, they're just showing me every video they can that's the right style, even though the topics have nothing to do with me. Which means for us, if we just start getting the right style videos in there, they're going to start showing them to a wider audience of people.
I'm going to throw out an idea. This is kind of from the SEO suggestion, but there's a website called Answer the Public, and it's powered by Neil Patel. And the underlying premise here is that, if you want more people to visit your website, then answer the questions that they have. And so what Answer the Public does is it gives you the ability to put in a topic, and it will give you, 15, 20, 30 questions around that topic. And the point is, if you can create content around each one of those, you are now becoming the authoritative figure in that space for that content. And I think that 100% piggybacks right into the social space of if we're looking for what should we be talking about, leverage a tool like that to find kind of in your industry expertise that will help you find the content, the questions that the public is asking.
Is it Answer the Public, you said, or Answer the Question?
Answer the Public.
.com.
That's the
Yep.
site.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Thanks for sharing that, Josh.
Yeah, it's again, content creation has always been the biggest pain in the ass. It's like trying to be original and stuff. And this is what I love about it is it's on steroids. Not only does it give you suggestive ideas, but it's being fed from what people are actually looking for topically right now.
Neil's so freaking brilliant. That's awesome.
He's pretty smart, dude.
And that's like I can't think of his name. I can picture him. He wrote the book They Ask You Answer. That's basically the whole book.
Okay.
And that's where, from that book of They Ask You Answer, is where I got, wait, why aren't we taking recorded customer conversations and turning it into social content? Right? Take any question.
Yes.
During a meeting with a customer, you take every question they ask and write them down. This is before I was able to record. This is like 5-6 years ago. Write down every question. And then your social post becomes a president of a office supply company asked me the other day, and this is a good question because, and then here's 3 things you should think about if you've asked this question too. Very simple content.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to take a look at that site. Thanks for that.
Of course.
It's really cool. I'm looking at it right now, and I just put in office supplies. It's pretty. I don't know exactly what I'm looking at, but it looks cool. Got to figure it out. So what do you guys think about? I don't know how many of you are in the situation where you don't have an open site. You want to stick to a geographical area. Does that change the strategy of social at all? Or do you still just put all of your content out there and you want to get as big of a base as possible? And then from that massive base, then you just focus on drilling into the clients that are around you. And I don't know if I'm phrasing the question in a way that is you guys can understand, but
I have a thought, but I'm going to wait and let you guys answer them first.
Yeah, I think you don't curtail it. I mean, I think for your ICPs and your targeted focus, definitely if you're regionalized, you want to make sure that your outbound efforts are, centralized in your market, but I wouldn't curtail it. I think more eyeballs, the better. If I happen to jam on what you're content in, and I'm in Portland and you can't service me, but like it's a good interaction. I think that just bolsters your social presence, which is therefore just going to reinforce your local market that much more.
Would you advise kind of embedding just, hashtag location hashtags like Atlanta, like everything that you put up there, you're tagging Atlanta to try to draw special attention
Yeah,
to
that's
that
not a bad
office
idea.
supplies Atlanta. I know like when we're, we're in the near the Boston trade show market, but we don't do that much in Boston, but trying to, if we've thought about it like an SEO situation, like how do we come up if people, are doing a show in Boston, like Googling Boston exhibit companies. So
Yeah.
just trying to lean into those local markets or, the big trade show markets like a Chicago or San Francisco or something, just dropping in hashtags like that. I don't know that it works, but it's just, I guess, fodder for conversation.
Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, I think that gives you a little bit of that regional tie to it. But fundamentally, I think what's good here, James, is just that like if you're coming across as an authoritative figure and you're becoming the expert in this space, like it doesn't matter if I'm buying from you, you are just establishing credibility regardless. Now obviously you want the people in Atlanta too, but like again, I think it's a case of rising tides lift all boats.
Well, the other thing too, and this is what I constantly find myself getting distracted by the hyper focus. Like just let the strategy be the strategy and just focus on that without changing it. Grab as big of a base, being consistent with posting. And one thought that came to me when you spoke, you're in Portland, you make a comment, but you may know a buyer who might happen to be somewhere else.
For sure.
Right. So using the law of exponentiality, not knowing
Yes.
the people who you're
And if I
reaching
comment
and
on
who
something
they can
and
reach it.
yes, exactly. And I've got somebody in Atlanta that's in my network and they pop up, I may not think of it, but they see that comment and they're like, oh, what's this guy doing in Atlanta?
Yeah, I didn't think about that extra layer. Good stuff.
This is a great conversation. So here's my thoughts on it too, guys, is the yes, and yes, basically. But let me tell you why. Targeting very specifically in social is proving to be less and less fruitful. I think the massive amounts of direct messages, cold direct messages, cold connection requests followed by messages and all that automation, it's leaving, like, I believe a few years ago, I was able to stand out and be different by engaging, and then send a connection request, not message right away, or just send the like, hey, thanks for connecting, and then engage, and then ask for a meeting and getting good traction. That's on a downward. I think people are so sick of direct messages that it's just really, really difficult to be different. A direct message is a direct message. Asking for a meeting is asking for a meeting. We need to get back to right, wrong, and different. Like it, don't like it. I don't know how to look at it. And Reem, I'll let you jump in a second. We've got to get back to our marketing first mindset, which speaks to what you just said, Josh and James, what you're asking. The bigger we can make our personal brand, the better it's going to do in our local market or in our industry market. But if we're just focused on our industry market, we're not, it's like we got to shoot wider to hit our target. And whatever the term is, reputation, popularity, personal brand, quantity of people, anywhere is going to help raise our effort in the markets that we're trying for. And I think the case in point is like the second part of today that we're going to talk about with video. LinkedIn is starting to move into more entertainment first with education behind it. Like Instagram did with stories, it was entertainment first and then the education. TikTok is all about entertainment first with the education. LinkedIn for a long time was education with entertainment, and it's that tide is shifting. And so we need to shift with it to stay at the top. Whatever that means for us. Now, Reem, I'll pause and let you share what I saw your hand raised. I know you've learned a lot with this.
I just want to talk about the messaging part. Oh wait, let me open my camera. I'm sorry, you guys, you can't see me. Minute. Okay. Hi everyone. So I just wanted to share about the messaging part. And I just want to agree with Brendan. Everyone is traumatized from messages in general. They're just waiting to be pitched. They're just waiting because they think when we say hey, and as much as personalized it is, hey, how are you, or how was your weekend, whatever, they think that we are going to pitch them just right the moment they answer us back. So what I've seen that works best is thinking what do they want to see and what do they want to hear and post about it. Like whatever I want to talk to them, just make it public. There's a chance they might see the post when we try to message them and they check our profile and this post is featured. This is also one point I want to like highlight, the featured posts. It says a lot. This is the thing that actually the first thing our eye goes to. When you check a profile and you just scroll down and there's three featured posts, we think that this is the best you got, or anyone that's checking your profile. So just make sure that these featured posts are actually speaking to your ICP or the people that you want to connect at most. So they just get spoken to without actually being messaged. And that's it.
Anybody have thoughts on that?
I think it's a kind of a cool hack to get around the whole direct messaging aspect, because it is kind of falling on flat ears. So it's like, okay, just put the content that you want to like share with them into the ether. You know, it's not direct, but still it's putting it out there, it's expressing it. And, you know, I think it's a long play that feels like the right decision or right direction, I guess.
Yeah, and I think the way, go ahead, James.
Two other anecdotes really quick. One, I had a conversation earlier this week with Reem and showed her a couple of different like messages from people. Like as soon as we became friends, it was just like boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, oh, and I'm actually trying to encourage, right, using LinkedIn and stuff. And it was just so off-putting. And then the second anecdote is I got a text from another guy like, holy cow, I didn't know that I knew a celebrity. It's like the past 100 times I've logged into LinkedIn, I've seen all of your stuff. So it's like, whether or not we see the numbers and the metrics, I'm becoming every day more convinced that there is an impact that's being made, whether we can quantify it or not. And for me, that's a little annoying because I'm a numbers guy, but yep. I'm seeing the trends. So,
well, and I think attribution is a really challenging part, and this is where we overstep the marketing to the sales. And digital marketing over the last, say, decade or so, attribution has been very clear, right? You go, oh, this person clicked Google, this person clicked an ad in Google, this person clicked out of, you know, our blog, this blog article here, or this ad over here. Attribution was very, very direct, and it was very quantifiable. And marketers could be able to go into a meeting and go, look what we did. But now, and again, and this is probably Noor and Aya, like the term dark social. I probably need to get dark social as one of my subtopics within LinkedIn, dark social. And this is what you're experiencing, James. And we've got to start getting better. The only way we can start quantifying things is get better at asking people, where did you find us? Right? Because if we rely on our quantifiable data, we don't have truth. So this will play out. You're a guest on a show and somebody hears you and it's not your show, you're on somebody else's show, or they see your post in LinkedIn and they start seeing you and seeing you and seeing you. And then they go, oh, okay, I got this need. I'll just play out James. Oh, I got this need. We have office supply needs. What's that guy's name again? What's it pushing oh yeah, Perimeter. And what do? They don't know your website. So they go to Google and they go Perimeter Office, or they go James Gilman Perimeter, James Gilman Office Supply, something like that. They get a Google, it's like, oh, Perimeter Office products. They click the button, they go there,
and your data is going to show the attribution came from Google. But that real attribution came
Yeah.
because James was on a show, or James was pushing the envelope show, or James's LinkedIn activity is the reality. So when we're going in that old mindset of quantify, we end up with wrong data, and
Yeah.
we end up throwing out the good stuff and keeping the bad stuff because it's not really good. It just appeared to be good. Does that make sense?
100%. Attribution, I think, is poorly mislabeled and misused today. I really think the way people, when they say attribution, what they mean is last touch attribution, which in this instance is Google. But like the true attribution of this, it was James's show.
Right.
It was James's post. It is maybe a marketing newsletter, and all of these things for whatever life moment happen. Now it's like I have the impetus, like, oh, I need office supplies. So what is it? And the last touch attribution was Google, but that's not actually the full attribution story. And that's a really, really viable. I mean, I'm in the marketing space, so that's probably why I'm so passionate about this, is just like clients are like, well, that's the, this. And I'm like, that's not the whole story, like at all.
Especially
Well,
now.
And for
Yeah.
us too, like it or not, for to being known, it takes twice as many touches and twice as many impressions now, right? I mean, we know that it used to seven times for somebody to recognize you with all the noise. Now it's double that. So
Right. Yeah, and
I
it's
want to ask I just want to ask a related question, but it's going to go in a different direction. So Brandon, finish your thought.
no, as I say, we say it's twice, and James, I think it's probably like 4 times. And that's why what we're talking about today, rise above the noise, is the drum I'm pounding right now. We have to rise above the noise. And the reason I'm moving from this social selling mindset to personal brand development mindset is because the social selling activities are getting convoluted because they're the easy ones. Direct messages, messaging automation, even posting simple content because of AI is getting easier. So there's going to be more noise. More people are publishing content, although it's shitty content. It's simple chat GPT content, but more people are posting. So for us to be excellent, we have to rise above that noise now. 2 years ago, it was just post regularly, just post. Not enough people post, just stand out by posting. Guess what? It's getting freaking harder. Now we got to post better. We have to be, I love that site you shared, Josh, to help us get even better, but we've got to post better. We have to post more. Like, we're moving our product. We post 7 days a week for clients now. We're adding the LinkedIn newsletter because we have to stand out and rise above the noise. And for people to write a newsletter is that much more effort, which means fewer people are going to do it. So we're going to add the newsletter. We're adding better video, and that's why we're going to talk about it today. Nora's going to show my video that they're doing with my Jeep thoughts to be a little bit more entertaining. And by the way, it's better than what I've done before. It's not quite where I want it to be. We started doing the On the Road to Success with Michael Connor. And Michael's not here, and I don't mean this to bash him publicly, but his videos aren't as good as they need to be. He's got to up his personality game in order to really stand out. Like, this is just where we are, guys. We've got to up our game to stand out. We have to be more entertaining. Like it or not, call it bullshit in business or not, I shouldn't have to do this. Well, guess what? You're probably right. It would be really nice if business was just black and white. Everything that I know is important, but if no one knows me, it doesn't freaking matter. It's the same thing right now with social. We've got to up our games to stand out. Sorry, soapbox
keep pushing,
moment.
keep pushing the envelope, guys.
That's right.
Sorry, had to drop
And
it.
that's like James, I was thinking about you with your show the other day. I'm like, okay, what do we have to do? Little things, like every episode, you take an envelope and you crumple it up and you throw it at the camera or something like that. Like, be more passionate about why are we talking about pushing the envelope? hey, life's getting louder, life's getting crazier. These things are coming in. I'm bringing people on my show who are pushing the frickin' envelope to be excellent at what they do. And that's what this show's about. When we go that extra passion, we go that extra emotion, we go that extra entertainment value, that's where people start to pay attention and we rise above the noise. But because the tools, the AI tools, everybody's going to go like this, which means we need to go like this. All right, Chris, my soapbox is over.
Hey, Brandon, one of the things I believe too is we've got to be different. And I'm reading, if you can see, I'm reading this book right now by Ryan Holiday. And yesterday in the chapter I was reading, it said, do something that scares you every day. And I think that's the first thing that came to me was LinkedIn content, and not appropriate, obviously, but just being different. I mean, you go on LinkedIn, it's the same BS. Pick 5 subjects and 90% of the content's about those.
Yeah. And that's like things like, Reem, I know that like Cups will tell you if my cutout photos where I go like that, he's like, oh, if we use it in healthcare, it won't fly. I don't agree. I don't agree. I think we feel safer hiding behind formal, but I don't agree because the people in healthcare, you know what they still have in common? They're human beings.
People.
Yeah.
Right? They're humanity. We stand out the way we want to stand out. Like, I mean, go look at Jeff Winter. He's in the AI space. He's in distribution. He's in a very stodgy industry. And he's doing incredibly well because he let his personality come out and he's merging his personal humanity with everything he knows about business. Is Jeff that much smarter than people in the space? No. He's that much more entertaining, which is why he's risen to the top. None of us are that much smarter than people in our space, but can we be more interesting? Can we rise above the noise? Can we have the courage to lead with our humanity and its full goofiness, its full uniqueness, and then let the strategy keep us focused? What are your 3 topics? What are the subtopics? And what do you bring of your humanity? And how much of that humanity can you bring into it? I think the one thing that we can all do is just know that whenever we're on video, up your energy 50%. Because we all think we look like, we all think we look like this, but we don't. We look like this. We've got to go to actually look energized. And it's uncomfortable to Butch's point, do something that scares you.
I'm going to piggyback on Butch's theme just a little bit here and just say that like 90% of what we do see on here is all the same, right? It's just static and it just kind of becomes white noise. When you guys see that 10% out there, like take notes of the 10% you see and find a way to make it work for you. Like there's a guy, I looked him up. I had no idea how I connected with him. Dude's full energy. His name's John Morris, and like he's crushing it in LinkedIn right now. And I'm like, I want to drink the coffee this guy's drinking in the morning. Well, I don't have to. I can just literally see what he's doing, and then I can just make it apply to, my direct mail space as opposed to, IT tech.
That's a great idea, Josh. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'm going to throw this out there for you guys. For me, I've got to up my energy. I got to up my humanity. And if I'm not doing it, you guys all have the right to kick me in the ass, please. Especially Aya and Noor, who are taking over on my side. You guys, we've got to up this thing, and the outcome's worth it. I mean, I don't know if I've shared with you guys, but I've got a path and a vision of turning Fist Bump into $100 million company. And the only way I'm going to get there is if we up this thing.
The vision.
Yeah.
Chris, you were
that's very
going to
true.
say something about 10 minutes ago and move us down a different path. And we just got a little excited, but
It's okay.
What was it?
It's related. I'm just, and this is just wondering, like, we're all putting in a lot of effort. We're creating this content. We're putting it, we're putting it out there. And I'd say by and large, like all of a sudden my numbers just kind of went in the crapper this week for whatever reason.
Mine did too.
Doesn't really matter. But there's this body of work that exists there. Is there other than, going back 30 to 60 days, taking an old post and rehabbing it and putting it back out again, is there a way to kind of almost drive people much like you would do, drive people to your website to see case studies? Is there a way to somehow drive people who don't know you yet to your LinkedIn profile in hopes that they will view those past posts? In other words, the conversation in my head is like, hey, I understand you don't know me yet and you don't trust me, but here's the link to my LinkedIn, and just take a look at the last, 30 days or 20 days worth of content that I've posted. And if any of it resonates with you, maybe there's a conversation that we can have. If none of it resonates you, I mean, that's me. So it is what it is. And maybe I'm not a fit for you, right? So I'm just wondering if there's somehow to leverage that effort that's already been expended and somehow make it viable, that we can use it in a different way. I don't know if that makes sense at all. I don't know if it makes sense to do.
Yeah, I think Nora's been shaking her head, so I think she has an idea. But before you get there, I think our previous conversation relates to that. Give them an emotional reason why they would want to. Like, we got to up our game. We've got to rise above the noise. Yes, we've been doing video. Yes, we've been posting regularly. But guess what? The game's changed. We need to up our game in order to do it. So what is that entertainment value? Getting to know ourselves. Where do we bring, which part of our humanity do we want to bring into this? Like, for me, guys, I need to bring my passion, my energy. Like we just talked about, I've completely screwed up and not talk about entrepreneurship and startup, which I'm in my 6th company. Why in the freaking world have I not been talking about entrepreneurship and startup and the pros, the cons, the successes, the failures? I wrote a freaking book and I've never talked about my book.
Brandon, let's have that be our conversation on the Pushing the Envelope podcast.
Excellent. You got it. Whatever I can do to serve you. But I think also, guys, it relates back to raising our game. We got to rise above the noise in order to do that. And then Nord, what were you, I saw you. What were you going to say?
Well, the idea of, introducing yourself to someone you don't know through your posts, I think that's genius because A, you're getting traction on your profile because they actually click the link and go see your profile. And B, you are sharing a type of connection with them. Like, hey, I want to get to know you because I want to do business with you. Here's a post that may have been tailored to what you're looking for or what you need.
Guys.
And again, it gives you the idea of, okay, maybe that you sent them your link or you sent them a post and they didn't find what they're looking for, then create what they're looking for. And then you have a post idea, if that makes sense. So I love the idea of including like either a link to your general profile. What I prefer is linked to specific posts you've created that you think might be interesting to them. Because that makes them actually want to click the link and go see it and read it.
So
Great idea, Nor.
to play that out, Nor, how would you execute that? In other words, let's say I have their email address and I would reach out and put that link in there, or more than likely, it's obviously easier to do within LinkedIn where I go to that post and I basically just send it to that person. Which, can I do that with someone who's not a direct connection? Can I send them?
You can do it through email. I mean, we've been doing the ICS reports and we include that in the email that we send out. It's like, hey, I want to connect with you. We want to talk about this and this and this. Here's one of my LinkedIn posts that talk about this topic, or you might find interesting that talk about this topic. And again, it's a visit on your link. It's a visit on your profile, and it might strike up the conversation. And it's a very good icebreaker as well.
Hey, I've got to interrupt for a second. Excuse me. I've got to hop off. Brandon, I got a face-to-face appointment with lunch meeting with somebody to help us get to that 100 million.
Sweet. Yeah, go do that.
Please go do that.
I'll watch
Good
the end of it. There are at least 4 people on this call that are excited about that.
Yay.
I'll watch the end of this online, and then I'll see you guys next week. Thanks.
See you,
Thanks,
buddy.
Mike.
Hey, Noor, I want to add something to what you're saying. Sorry, Brandon, did I cut you off?
Turn on your camera, and then James has a question.
Okay, I'm gonna turn on my camera, but my background is a little bit not good. So I was saying, I'm agreeing with Noor on every bit, to be honest. But I also agree that whomever we're trying to connect with doesn't want to do any kind of effort to get to know you. He wants it very ready to him. So if you ask him to like, hey, visit my profile and check my posts, he's not going to do that. It's effort for him. He wants it to be present to him and very visible, like very to the, he doesn't want to do any kind of effort to the least. So being there, yeah, sending that, of course, this is a nice idea, but adding a post that is tailored for him within the email should be, I mean, you should add a post, not your whole LinkedIn profile URL, because they will not click on it. And second thing is, maybe include that, hey, this is a LinkedIn profile, a LinkedIn post that I tailored specifically for your industry or for something, for a conversation that I want to have with you. He's gonna get very curious what kind of conversations you want to talk, and he's gonna read the post and he's gonna respond to you. But leaving it open-ended, he's not gonna put any kind of effort, trust me.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a profile like over the picture? If you hovered over the picture, there was a video, and it was like a 30-second clip about who you are or what you do or something about your profile. Did that
LinkedIn got rid of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I mean, that's a neat way to kind of introduce yourself and to anybody who might be looking, but
the nuance there though is that that's like, it's generalized. Whereas like kind of what Noor and Reem are talking about is like, if I want to, talk to Susan, I need to make sure that the message is something Susan is interested in. And so I think you're going to need to ideally tailor these, just like you would if you're applying for, I want to go work for Nike. That resume is going to look completely different than the one I want to go work at Intel.
Yeah. So I think part of the rise above the noise, guys, is we up our game on our content. What I'm seeing is working better is when somebody does, okay, we're commenting all over in order to get more people coming to our post. We're commenting all over so the right people see us, hoping that brings them into our content as well. Or they comment on our comments, or we comment on their comment, that we get them to comment back. That's the way I'm trying to create conversation with people. Then send a connection request if we're not connected, or if we are connected, that's when I go to my personal video and send them a video directly to them inside of a direct message. Remember, I have my tripod that I keep on my desk. I have my camera right there, and I video it as a file and then open the LinkedIn mobile app and send it to them as a video. So what it could look like is maybe we're connected. I go comment. I see that they've commented. I comment again, or I see they commented and I comment the first time. And then because I'm trying to get to know them, then I'll go send them that direct message. Comment on their comment somehow to get their attention, see me there. Then I go send a video and just say, oh, like I did this with Danielle, who's in the Atlanta market. She commented on things. She's probably not my ideal customer, but I think she knows several of ours that would be a good fit because she owns a CPA firm. I'm assuming all the CEOs of her clients could be a good fit for us. So I went and I created a video and I said, hey, Danielle, you and I were both commenting on this. Thank you so much. That was awesome. You know, we've been connected, but we don't know each other. Maybe we could do a virtual coffee and meet. Sent it off to her. She responded back going, oh, the video was so cool, Brandon. Yeah, that's great. Let's plan a virtual coffee. How about next week? So we're controlling the actions that we can control. Up our posting game, do more commenting, and wait until they've done some sort of action that opens the door just enough, and then take advantage of it.
I totally
With my,
agree. One thing else I've been trying, and to be honest, it worked, but I didn't try but one time only, which is I've seen them, where did they comment? And I commented on their comment saying, hey, I think I really want to get connected to you and have this conversation. So it's in public, and they're most likely going to accept your connection request, and they're going to have this conversation with you.
that's good.
Because it's not like sent directly to them, it's in the public, and it's say, hey, you have a great point of view, and I think 1 2 3, and I think we should talk further in this topic 1 2 3. So actually this actually worked. So that's
Cool.
it. Thanks.
Aya.
Okay. About the commenting, I just want to add something. I don't know if you guys use this or not, but like I feel like when doing comments, I prefer to do it in a question form, like not interaction but question, because questions makes the person like to respond, and like it starts a conversation through the comments. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
We got it. So you can start a conversation with that person with comments, but like in a question form. So I prefer that more than interacting or just like commenting like a regular comment on a post. I don't know, like
Yeah, and I would
if you
I
guys.
would add to that. I would add to that, Aya, that it's an open-ended question. Don't ask yes, no questions. Ask open-ended questions. Like I like to do on that is I'll explain like, oh, this is what I'm seeing. Is that what you mean? Or is it something different? Like something open-ended. Well, and that could be a yes, no, but um, an open-ended question of could you expand upon that, or what do you mean, or what does that look like, or could you share an experience where that happened, or give us an example, those types of open-ended questions.
That's spot on, Brandon. That's one thing I noticed recently specifically with Jeff Winter. I don't know if you've spent time reading. You mentioned him earlier.
Yeah.
But I've paid attention to how specific people respond to people commenting. You do a good job at that. And I've noticed Jeff Winter replied to one of my comments, but it wasn't like, hey, thanks for your insight. It was like, he was asking me why I said that, and are you sure that's what you meant? And you know, can you explain it? I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't think about it that way. Actually, I probably should have said it this way and this way. And we went back and forth like 4 or 5 times. But it takes more time to do that, though.
But you do it with strategic people. You don't do it with everybody. But the other thing is, it is a way that we rise above the noise, because it is an action that we can control to be different than everyone else. And I know there's a tipping point, I believe, where people become so popular that they just stop commenting. And that's the worst thing you do. Like, look at Gary Vee. Gary Vee will say he can't comment on everybody now, but he goes through and comments on some posts because he knows that's what got him there. Right? Darren McKee will tell you he'll post. And for him, if you want Darren to comment on your comment, ring his bell. And as soon as you see the notification, go comment, because he responds to comments for about the first 10 to 15 minutes, and then he's out. And everything else goes on. He gets, 50, 100 comments, but the first 10 to 15 minutes he responds to, and then he checks out. But it is a way to stand, to rise above the noise and really give detailed comments and ask questions. I like to ask questions because it gets them commenting again. and then I comment. I play a game where I want to be the last person to comment, so I keep them coming back as much as possible because it's good for my engagement numbers
games.
and it's good for the algorithm.
Mind games. You're playing mind games. It's a guaranteed response. You're just giving them the question that will guaranteed get them back to respond to you.
Okay, so next week we're gonna talk more about videos because we didn't get to them today.
I was gonna say, I want to talk about video.
Yeah, so we can get there. Nora and Aya and Amir are doing some more stuff with my Jeep Thoughts videos. I'm trying to up my game with the energy level in my videos and being more consistent with videos. So we'll be able to show my video. We're going to show you what we've been doing with Michael Connor's videos. I really want to get there, Mr. Gilman. I want to get there with you on some sort of a video and a theme. Yeah, a theme, because themes stick in people's memories. We stand out. We rise above the noise with a theme. And a consistency with that theme, some graphics around that theme. It shares our humanity. Like for me, we're doing Jeep Thoughts because Jeeps always represent community. Community represents networking, and I want to be known about personal branding and digital networking. So that's why it all kind of comes together. But we can talk about those, and I got a few other people that I've been following on their video. And here's the key thing with it. If LinkedIn is going to do what I think LinkedIn is doing, and these news feed, newsreel, story type videos are going to get more prominence, then we need to be there. And if we're going to be there, a simple, hey, everybody, it's not going to work. We got to add a little bit to it. We got to add humanity. We got to add energy. We need to add some graphics. Like Noor and I were talking this morning about having a animated Jeep that will come across the screen and like skid into place and maybe have a little bit of dirt or something around it that gets embedded into all my videos in certain spots. Like, so every video is going to have one thing that's going to be like the point. So we start each video where I say something, and then we have our Jeep Thoughts video or Jeep Thoughts intro come in, right? So we start with human because human captures human attention. If we start with the intro, it's like boring. Human states a point. We add the intro. We say something in the video. When I say the main point of the video, we want to be like, pop it up and restate that one point and then keep going on with the video, right? It's production value. It's memory. It's rising above the noise. Is it cheesy? Abso-flippin-lutely, it's a little bit cheesy. But if you look at the TikTokers, the Instagrammers, the whoever who are making millions of dollars off their videos, it's that production cheese value that stands out. And if the game is right now, guys, we have to rise above the noise. Like Butch said, do something that scares you every day and go rise above the noise.
I like the Jeep idea. I think it's awesome. I was thinking even like the tire that's on the back of the Jeep, like zooms in and then that becomes the next video screen
that's cool.
for the transition.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
Careful, James, you're going to get recruited to the video team.
Dude, I have no shortage of ideas. It's execution that I'm.
Here's the idea. Big picture.
I'm thinking, you guys can think for me. I'm thinking of getting a custom tire cover on the back of my Jeep, the spare tire. I'm thinking of getting a custom cover there that's promoting our LinkedIn stuff. I'm just not sure what to do yet. I don't want to do like a QR code. That's kind of boring now. But what type of QR code would get someone's attention? I don't know.
It could be some sort of like, augmented reality thing where it's the fist bump and you take your phone and the fist comes like right at your face or something. I mean, that would be kind of, although people driving it back, you might smash into you. So that could be.
I was thinking of some sort of augmented reality too. Like use your phone and see what happens. And it kind of does a little Jeep scene or a, eventually
driving, but in general.
Yeah.
There was an influencer that had a similar idea, and then she made a series of Spot the Jeep. She had a sticker or like on her tire, and if you spotted the Jeep, wherever you are, you would like receive something. I don't know what kind of reward, I don't remember, but it was a nice series. Also, you can like include that.
That's cool.
Brandon, a duck. Use a duck.
Yeah, I was
With a
just gonna
fist
say
bump,
that.
because you know it's a Jeep thing,
Yeah.
and that's gotten big like on cruise ships
Yeah.
too. Like kids run around and they hide the duck. So
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. By the way,
and,
I
and tell
just-
people don't do this. Like, don't click here. Right.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
inevitably they're gonna do it.
That's
right.
it. Hey guys,
Don't
I
press the
gotta
red
go. I gotta go find power for my laptop, and I've got a call with a potential investor in 2 minutes. So I gotta
Right.
jump. I gotta go find power.
Good
Have a
seeing
great
you
weekend,
guys.
everybody.
Nice meeting you,
Appreciate it,
everybody.
guys.
Have a great weekend.
Joshua,
Bye.
are you hiking somewhere, Joshua?
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna go south. It's not gonna be as arduous. My body is still recovering, but we're gonna find some picturesque waterfall this weekend. And there's a new company. It's called 503 Distilling. And it's a newer company here in Portland that does craft cocktails in a can. So it's meant to literally be
Sweet.
bartender quality cocktails. So I went to an open house thing last night. So yeah, you'll see something popping up on the weekend or on Monday.
Can't
So
wait.
Love it.
Awesome.
Love it.
Hey,
Oh, Josh, let me tell you something.
yeah.
Take a video. Take a video of
Okay.
you sipping that drink and talking about it.
Yeah.
I want to see videos this week until we meet next week.
So I appreciate you saying that, because I totally regretted like being on top of a mountain and not doing a video. I was like, what was I
Exactly.
thinking?
Exactly.
Yes. So
What a
thank
mess.
you,
What
Nora,
a
for
huge
like
mess.
the extra
The whole
kick in the
point
pants.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Josh, just a quick question, and I know James is a big craft beer guy as well. So we have a place near us called Treehouse, which is widely recognized as one of the top in the country, and they're making their own craft cocktails. Also, they're distilling their own booze and making cocktails. But what I've found in trying to tag businesses, typically in the hospitality business, not always in brewing and so forth, but I'm finding that not a lot of them have representation on LinkedIn, or if they do, and I tag them,
Yeah.
I never get much of anything from there. It just seems like a missed opportunity where traditional B2C, like hospitality, restaurant type of brands or brewers or something like that aren't paying it. If they have a site, they're not paying attention to that at all. I was curious if you found anything different with what you're doing.
No, I think that's spot on. I mean, there's some brands that don't even have a presence on LinkedIn. Some of them do. I'm actually even finding that on Instagram, to be honest with you. Like,
Really?
I'll do something that to me, I'm like, oh my God, this was like epic. And the beer company that like I'm doing on Instagram and they have a presence there, like
Yeah.
they don't even seem to like, cool. Like
It
not
was
even a thanks or anything. It's just
natural jump on that and be like, Josh, you're awesome. Here's a free case of beer.
yeah.
But like,
yeah.
thanks for banging the drum on our 1, 2, 3 brew, whatever.
Yeah. So I'm
yeah,
still
so-
doing it on LinkedIn just because I think it's like the right thing, and eventually maybe it catches up and like it turns into something. But yeah, your observation is spot on.
Okay.
Agreed.
I wasn't sure if it was like a Northeast thing, but it sounds like
No.
it's everywhere. Okay.
No, I think it's a brewer thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, I'm gonna actually send you a link
Cool.
to Treehouse guys, just because at least they have a presence there. They kind of bang the drum a little bit there, so they maybe are using LinkedIn more than other brewers are.
Okay.
Got it.
Cool.
So, all
Appreciate
right,
it.
gents and ladies,
Okay.
great.
Have a great
See you
weekend.
guys. Bye, Nor.
Bye, Nora.
Reem.
Bye,
Have
Reem.
an awesome weekend.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. James, if you did anything, oh, he left.